You step into the shower. You run your hands through your wet hair. And there it is again. More circling the drain at your feet. Your stomach drops a little. Here is what I need you to know. That just bad luck. There are specific completely normal and some a warning sign, and most people cannot tell the difference. Far worse through the way they wash, turning a. Today, I am going to explain exactly why your hair falls out in the shower. Real problem. And then I am going to give you a wash that dermatologists genuinely recommend and that can dramatically reduce what you lose down that drain. Stay with me to the end, because the 3-minute technique is something you can start with your very next shower tonight for free. Your doctor has probably never had time to walk you through this. Not because they are hiding it, because appointments are. I have spent 35 years as a board-certified and a great many of them finally scared them into my office. Covered again and again. They were losing it, or at least mistakes in how they washed and handled their hair, especially when it was wet and most fragile. The way they scrubbed, rough towel drying, all of it adding up. And when we fix the technique, the amount coming out in the shower often drops significantly. This channel is where I say what I never have time to say in a 15-minute visit. Maybe this is the exact fear that brought you here. That sinking feeling of pulling hair off your hands mid-shower, checking the drain, wondering quietly if you are going bald, if this is the beginning of the end for your hair. I want you to hear this clearly, because it genuinely brings relief to most people. Some shedding in the shower is entirely normal, and even when there is a real problem, it is very often driven by things you can control and correct. So before you panic, let me help you understand what you are actually seeing. In fact, in this entire video, and it is completely normal to lose between 50 a day. Read that again. Up to 100 hairs a day is not hair loss. It is the natural. Your head is in one of a few phases. Most are growing, some are resting, and at any given time a portion are naturally being. Here is the key part for the shower specifically. Are just sitting loosely in the follicle, barely a action of washing, the warm water, the massage releases all of those you see in the shower is not being ripped out. Hairs from the day or two since your last wash, all coming loose at the same moment. The shower shedding look worse when you finally do wash, because more loose hairs have piled up waiting to be released. So a handful of hair in the shower, especially if you do not wash daily, is usually completely normal and nothing to fear. Or when you can see your scalp becoming more visible over time. Understanding that difference alone takes a huge weight off most people's shoulders. Now is when it becomes a real concern. So let me help you understand what that can mean, because knowing the difference calms a lot of unnecessary fear and tells you when to actually act. There are a few different patterns. Dramatic increase in overall shedding. amount all over your head, not in one spot. This often has a specific trigger a few months earlier. A high fever, severe stress, or a big change in medication. What happens is that the stressful event shocks a lot at once, and then the reassuring part is and the hair typically recovers once the trigger has passed and your body settles. The second pattern is the slow, gradual thinning of genetic, hormone-driven hair loss, which does not usually announce itself as a big shower event, but shows up over months and years as a widening part, a receding hairline, or a thinning crown. And the third is shedding tied to a nutritional gap or a thyroid issue, which tends to be diffuse and persistent until the underlying cause is corrected. Because if you're seeing a sudden surge, it is worth thinking back to what happened 2 or 3 months ago, and often simply waiting and supporting your body resolves it. But if you are seeing steady, creeping thinning that only your hair, but will not address the root, panic into a plan. So if some shedding is normal, why do so many people where the mistakes come in? The things and the root of it is a simple biological factor than dry hair. When hair hands become significantly more fragile and prone to breaking. So the shower, and it is exactly when most people are the roughest with it. Let me walk you through what goes wrong. Strips the scalp's protective oils. Their hair on top of their head and scrub it into a tangled mess, which snaps fragile wet strands and creates knots that tear when combed. They use harsh shampoos loaded with sulfates that strip the scalp raw, damaging both, and then they get out and attack their soaking, which causes enormous breakage and tangling. Every one of these is avoidable. And notice something important. From the root in the shower is actually hair breaking in the breakage and shedding look identical in the drain, but breakage is entirely within your power to prevent, which is exactly what the 3-minute fix is about. For me right now. Type in the whether the amount you see in the shower has been staying the same or getting worse, and tell me your age. I think seeing everyone's answer and reassure a lot of you who are well within the normal range. So here it is, the 3-minute fix, a complete, gentle washing method that protects your hair at its most vulnerable moment. Short sequence of gentle steps, and each one done together, they can dramatically cut what you lose down the drain. Let me walk you through it, and none of it adds Step 1. Before you even get in, gently detangle your dry tangles tear it, so removing knots beforehand or less breakage during the wash. This one small step, done on dry. Step 2. Use lukewarm water, not hot. I know protective oils and can weaken the hair shaft. Lukewarm water and scalp. And later, if you can so strands lie flat, look shinier. And this is central. Apply a small amount of a gentle sulfate-free shampoo and focus it on your scalp, not the lengths. Massage it into your scalp using the pads of your fingertips, never your. This cleans the scalp where oil and buildup actually are, while that gentle massage also increases blood flow to the follicles. Pile your hair up and scrub it into. Let the shampoo run down the lengths as you rinse, which is all the cleaning the ends need. This single change, gentle fingertips on the scalp instead of a enormous amount of breakage. Step 4. Always use a conditioner and use it correctly. Lengths and ends of your hair, avoiding the scalp. And this matters because conditioner smooths the hair cuticle, which detangles the strands and makes forward. Skipping conditioner leaves your hair breakage every time you touch it. Leave it on for a minute, then rinse with that cool final rinse. And step 5, the step people ruin everything on. Be extremely gentle drying your hair. Wet hair is at its most fragile, and that rough rubbing causes massive breakage and tangling. Then pat or softly wrap your hair. A cotton t-shirt, which is gentle. Let your hair dry. You comb, always start from the ends and work your way up. Never yanking a comb from the roots down through tangles. This gentle drying and detangling is where so much preventable loss is either caused or avoided. As her experience is a patient of mine who came in genuinely frightened. When I asked her to describe exactly how she washed it, the picture was clear. She used very hot water, rubbed it hard with her nails, used a harsh clarifying shampoo daily, and then rubbed it briskly with a towel afterward. She was every single step. Changed nothing about her body and everything about her technique. Exactly the 5 steps I just gave you. At her follow-up 6 weeks later, she coming out in the shower had dropped dramatically. Her hair had not been falling out from within nearly as much as she feared. It had been breaking in her hands. Disappeared. Not every and gentle technique costs nothing to try. So here's exactly what to do, step by step, summed up. Detangle your dry hair before the shower. Wash with lukewarm water, never hot. Use a gentle sulfate-free shampoo. Apply to the scalp with your fingertips in gentle circles. Never condition the mid-lengths and ends every time to prevent tangling and breakage. Finish with a cool rinse. Then and comb from the ends up only once the entire 3-minute fix, and every step protects your hair at its most fragile moment. 2 practical tips to make it stick. First, the biggest mindset shift is simply this: treat your wet hair as if it were delicate silk, because softness is the enemy. Your overall hair volume now. See improvement within weeks, and the photo will prove to all this work because breakage. Avoid brushing your hair when it is fine brush on damp hair, and never rip through a tangle. Always work it loose gently from the ends up. And skip the thin, snapping elastic bands that saw through strands, choosing a soft, fabric-covered tie instead. And if you sleep on a rough cotton pillowcase, consider a smoother one like satin, which creates far less friction against your hair overnight. These small changes are protecting your hair around the clock, not just for the technique solves a great deal of shower hair because some hair loss is driven by genetics, hormones, nutrition, or medical condition. So if you improve your technique, if your shedding keeps increasing over weeks, if your scalp is becoming visibly more exposed, or if hair is coming out in distinct patches, please see something that needs a proper look. Gentle wash cause. I am a doctor, but I am not your doctor. Because it is the heart of everything I just told you. That frightening moment in the shower is, for most people, far less dire than it feels. A good deal of what you see is completely normal shedding, and much of the rest at your hair's most vulnerable or to reduce. But here is the honest expectation. If your problem is technique and breakage, if there is an underlying cause beyond, while you address the root of it, but it will not do the whole job alone. And that is exactly why getting evaluated matters if the problem persists. Are simply the ones who stopped fighting their own hair in the shower and started treating it gently. Because this was never only about hair in a drain. It is about replacing fear with understanding, helpless, and protecting what you have with nothing more than a gentler pair of hands. So try the 3-minute method in your very next shower, and come back and tell me in the comments how much of a difference it made, and which. Type your age too. I read every single one. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one.